Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's DAF Hayomi, Maseches KIDDUSHIN, DAF Ayin Ches. We got up to the second line off the top of the Amid. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Kohen Gadol ba'almana loikesh tayim. If Kohen Gadol is mekadesh an almana and continues and lives with her as married, he gets 2 times malchus. Why? Achas mishum lo yikach. One is because the pasuk says, "Don't be mekadesh the isha lo yikach." Va'achas mishum lo yichalel. Secondly, the pasuk warns him against adversely affecting her by living with her as married. So there are 2 separate isurim and 2 separate malchus. Asks the Gemara, well, there's a third as well. What about his offspring that become affected by that marriage? Answers the Gemara, that wasn't part of the equation. There was no completion to that physical interaction. There was no emission of zera. Mosef Rava, we have a kasha from a Mishnah and Malchus. You tell me there are 2 separate malchus in a Kohen Gadol marrying a widow, almana ugrusha, loikem b'shem shnei shemis. So if we have one isha who happens to be both an almana and a gerusha, so he has 2 isurim, shnei shemis. There are 2 reasons for malchus. So we're assuming one is the almana, one is the grusha. My love, shnei shemis v'suloi. Only those 2 reasons, those 2 liabilities, and no more. Well, that's a kasha because according to our Gemara, Kohen Gadol b'almana gets twice malchus. One is for the engagement, one is for the actual physical interaction. Aside from gerusha, it should be more than 2. Answers the Gemara loy. Shnei shemos al zeh, v'shnei shemos al zeh. Of course, when the Mishnah says mishum shnei shemos, one is the almana, one is the gerusha, but each one is a double iser. One is for the lo yikach, one for lo yichal, a total of 4 times malchus. Ihachi, if that's the case. Emo seifa. Let's proceed to the second part of that Mishnah. If the same woman happens to be a gerusha, a divorcee, v'chalutza, an isha who experienced chalitza, they're both asa for the kohen, ein chayev, ella, mishum achas. It's only chayev 1 time malchus. Why? So Rashi explains, because she's a grusha, that gives you the malchus. Chalutza, we're going to say in a minute, is not min hatera, it's only issa d'rabban. So 1 time malchus. Well, why only 1 malchus? For grusha on its own, you should get twice malchus. For lo yikach and lo yichal. Answers the Gemara, well, that's what the Mishnah means. Hachik amar, einay chayiv el al achas. There's one reason for his chiyav, i.e. a gerusha, but of course it's a double malchus. Asks the Gemara, what happened to the chalutza part? The chalutza d'rabbanan. He's not getting malchus for that. It's only d'rabbanan. But Tanya grusha, we have a brisa. The pasuk disallows the kain from marrying a grusha. Ainly a grusha. Perhaps that only applies to a gerusha. Chalutza menayin. What about a chalutza? Tamaleimar v'isha. It says v'isha grusha meisha. That's adding the chalutza as well. Midrabanan, answers the Gemara, it's only midrabanan across machtava alma. This drasha v'isha is only sort of a support, a raya to the rabbanon. It's a basis for the rabbanon, but of course it's only the rabbanon and there's no malchus. Amar Abaye, here comes a chiddush. Kiddush loike, baal loike. Again, regarding a kohen gadol with an almana, or a kohen hedit with his prohibitions, grusha and zayna, etc. So, according to Abaye, there is 2 separate reasons for malchus. The kiddushin is one, and when they proceed together as married, baal loike, there's another malchus as well. So according to Abaye, it's 2 separate reasons for malchus. One is kiddushin, one is baal. Kiddush loike because of lo yikach, and baal is loike because of lo yikach. Oh, kiddush loike mishum lo yikach, right? Baal loike mishum lo yichal. According to Abaye, we split them apart. Kiddushin generates a malchus on its own, lo yikach. Likewise, baal generates its own malchus, lo yichal. Rav Amar no. You don't separate the 2. The malchus on lo yikach is contingent. It's conditional upon the completion of that marriage. Rav Amar, baal loike. So if one does kiddushin, he doesn't get malchus right there on the spot. Only if it proceeds and does Baal. Loi Baal ain't like. Why? Mishum dechsiv lo yikach v'lo yichalel. It's a continuous process. Ma tam lo yikach. Why is there a lav lo yikach? Mishum lo yichalel. So basically, according to Rava, the lav and the malchus on lo yikach is conditional upon continuing and concluding that process of marriage. Umoide Abaye. Now, even Abaye, who says that Kiddushin on its own is reason for malchus, he agrees with Machzor Rishos. A person remarries his wife after she had been married to somebody else. In that case, even Abaye agrees Shem Kiddush v'lo Baal she'en Eloike Kiddushin on its own without Bila does not generate malchus. Why? L'kachta lias l'isha merachmana. The pasuk warns him against retaking her as a wife. But if you only did Kiddushin, he never got to that advanced stage. There's no malchus. And likewise, Rava would agree in the following case. Meaning, even Rava, who said that you need both steps, Kiddushin and Bia, even he would agree in the following case that you don't need both steps. Moed Rava b'kohen gadol ba'almana. Kohen gadol approaches an almana, never engaged her. Shem Baal, he just did Baal v'lo Kiddush without Kiddushin. Shaloike gets malchus. And Rashi explains that true, Kiddushin is totally in Baal. Like we explained, you don't get malchus unless you proceed to the next step. But if you go the other way, Baal, even without Kiddushin, that generates malchus. And Rashi explains because it said lo yichalel, and he did that. And therefore, he gets malchus. Oh, the Gemara says, "Shem Baal v'lo Kiddush like v'lo yichalel zari ba'amav v'marachmana v'arichilo." Right, the pasuk stresses it's the chilul that generates the malchus. Even if it was not preceded by Kiddushin, he gets malchus. Ushneim moedim. Both Abaye and Rava would agree in this following case. But Machzor Rishos, if he retakes his grusha, Shem Baal v'lo Kiddush. He did Baal without phase one, without Kiddushin. She'eni loike, in that case, there's no malchus. Derech lekuchen asar Torah. Pasuk said, lakachta lias like the isha. It only works. The isra is only generated when it was phase one, Kiddushin, and followed by phase two, marriage or bila. Okay, so bottom line, Abaye says, Isurei Kahuna, a split. Kiddushin gets you one malchus, Bila another malchus. And Kiddushin on its own can generate a malchus, even without proceeding to the next stage. According to Rava, no. The lav and the malchus on the Kiddushin is contingent upon the Bila which follows. All agree by Machzor Rishos, it needs to be Kiddushin and then Baal, and all agree that in any case, by let's say Kohen Gadol Ba'almana, if he does Be'ilah without Kiddushin, there is malchus as well. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Bas Ger Zachar K'Bas Cholol Zachar. So in the Mishnah we learned that a Cholol, a fellow who was born due to a kahuna mismatch, like a Kohen Gadol with a grusha, etc., that fellow, that Cholol's children have a psul Cholol as well. Rabbi Yehuda adds, the same applies to a ger. Bas ger zach, we have a male ger. His daughter is kavas cholol, treated like a vas cholol in terms of being disqualified from kahuna. And the Gemara will explain the reason for this. Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, bas ger zach, kavas cholol zach. Vadei noisen. And of course, it makes sense. It's based on a kal v'chomer. Ma cholol shabam b'tipok sheira. Look, a cholol who comes from a tipok shera, which means he has a Jewish source, right? His father was Jewish. B'itoy psul, still the Cholol's daughter is puzzled from Kuna. Ger, a convert, shabam b'tipok psul, he comes from a puzzle source, from a guy. Eino din shabita psula, of course, the same should apply to his daughter. She's puzzled from Kahuna. Says the Gemara, no. What kind of connection is that? Ma lecholol, a cholol is so different. Sheken yitzirasa ba'avera. He was brought about through avera. His parents committed avera by creating him, as opposed to a ger. Nothing wrong with his yitzira. He was brought into this world as a guy. Nothing wrong. So how can you compare the two? Well, Kohen Gadol ba'almana yechiach. I'll disprove this notion, because look, Kohen Gadol was an almana. She'ein Yitzurasa ba'avera. In that case, the father, right, the Kohen Gadol ba'almana, the father Kohen Gadol, he was not formed with avera. He was perfectly fine before he married the almana, and still bitei psula, his daughter's puzzle. So perhaps that's not a factor. And likewise, the ger should have the same status. Well, Malak Kohen Gadol ba'almana, it's so different. She'ein biyasa ba'avera. Well, his interaction with this almana was an avera, something which the ger he didn't do anything wrong when he married an isha. So he says his daughter's puzzle. Well, we'll go back to the chalal. Chalal yechiach. Chalal will disprove this argument because a chalal did nothing wrong by marrying a regular isha, and still his daughter's puzzle. So perhaps the same by the ger. But then we go back and forth. The element found in this case is not found in the other case, and therefore we don't attribute the halacha to this factor because it's not found in the other case and still has the halacha. Basically, we're going back and forth between Almana and Chalal and Ger. So what's the common denominator? Let's find something that they all have in common. What's common between Kohen Gadol ba'almana, whose daughter is pasal from Kahuna, and the Chalal, whose daughter is pasal? What's something in common? She'enan b'roiv hakol. It's not your typical. Their situation is not typically found amongst the community, right? The Chalal was Yitzir Rasei Ba'avera, and the Kohen Gadol ba'almana is B'yasa Ba'avera. So they have something that's not typical, and thereby their daughter is pasal l'kahuna. Af ani avias hager. Likewise, we'll include the ger, who also has that facet. She'ein b'roiv hakol. He's not something typical, right? Ubi teipsula, and therefore his daughter should be pasal. Well, malasat lavshavish behem. Once again, you can't compare. It's not a fair connection. Kohen Gadol ba'almana and or Chalal, they have something in common not found by the ger. They have a more severe deficiency than the ger. Shekein yesh behem tzad aver. There's an element of violation there. Case of the Chalal, he was born by avera. Case of the Kohen Gadol ba'almana, his interaction with her is by avera, as opposed to the ger who's quickly clean. He didn't do anything wrong. Lo yiteima, says the Gemara. Okay, instead of saying Kohen Gadol ba'almana yechiach, we'll prove from the Kohen Gadol ba'almana. Ela ema, we won't do that. We'll go to a different source. Mitzri Rishon Yechiach, a first generation Mitzri ger, right? Who may not marry into the community, and his daughter is pasal, of course, right? So perhaps the same with the regular ger, right? Because Mitzri Rishon did nothing wrong. There was no Yitzir of Avera, there was no Bi'asa B'Avera, and still we see his B'Tais Psula. So same with the regular ger. Well, Mala Mitzri Rishon, Shekein Einei Ro'i Lo V'Bekal. How could you compare it to the Mitzri Rishon? He has something really severely deficient, not found by regular Chalal. He can't marry into the community. So there's no raya from there. Well, if that's the case, Chalal Yechiach. Let's go back to Chalal. Chalal will disprove this argument that you just brought up, because a Chalal can marry into the community, can marry anybody basically, and still his daughter is pasal. So likewise, a ger will have the same point. V'chazra adin, and we'll sort of go back and forth. Lo roizeh k'roizeh, the element deficiency we find in one, we don't find in the other, and back and forth. Atzad l'shabash bench. We have to find common ground. What's the common denominator? Let's figure out a formula that can work for us. She'ein b'roiv kol ubitei psula. Let's now find a commonality between the Chalal and the Mitzri Rishon, which hopefully will provide basis for our halacha that a regular ger, his daughter is pasal l'kahuna. Okay, so what's common to these two things? We sort of left out the Kohen Gadol ba'almana because that didn't work. Right, so now we went over to Mitzri Rishon and combine it with Chalal. What's common amongst these two? She'enan b'roiv kol. Right, it's not something which is found amongst the general population, because a Chalal was created with Avera. That's something uncommon. And Mitzri Rishon cannot marry into the community. So these are two, sort of unusual cases. Ubitei psula. And in both, we say their daughters is pasal. Af ani aves hager. Likewise, we'll include the ger, who has the same commonality. She'ein b'roiv kol. He's not your typical situation. Ubitei psula. and therefore his daughter is possible. Well, Mala Tzalav Shabash Behen, Shekem Poislim B'Biyasim. No. Those two examples that you cited, the Chalal and the Mitzvah Rishon, they have something more severe than the ordinary ger. Because when a Chalal or a Mitzvah Rishon interacts with an Isha, they make her apostle for Kahuna, as opposed to a ger who doesn't do that. So how can you compare? So how could you be to say a daughter of a ger is apostle? Why? Answers the Gemara of Rabbi Yehuda. He responds, exactly that. Ger nami paisel b'miyosai. You asked me about a ger disqualifying an isha by interacting with her as married. Yeah, actually, I hold that a ger has the same effect on an isha, and therefore it's on the same plane, on the same level as the chalal and the mitzvah rishon. They all have that in common, and therefore they all also carry over to their daughters. How does Rabbi Yehuda know this? That a ger is posel isha with bia? He learns it through the same kal v'chomer, and Rashi explains that if a chalal who came from a good source, meaning he came from a Yisrael source, right? Still, his interaction with an isha makes her apostle. Certainly, a ger will have the same effect, and basically, it's the kal v'chomer that we had before, and until we get to the mahatzad, which means we connect the two sources, we find the common denominator, and we apply the same halacha that we find by the chalal to the ger, just like he makes an isha apostle through bia, likewise the ger. So bottom line, Rabbi Yehuda has a raya that a bas ger is pasal kahuna, and the Gemara concludes that according to Rabbi Yehuda, there's another connection between ger and chalal, just like a chalal is pasal isha b'viyasai, likewise a ger. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Eimer, he disagrees. He says that a ger that marries a geyeris, so both parents are converts and the child is pasal kahuna. But otherwise, if any one of the parents are regular Yisraelim, the child is unaffected, can marry a kohen. Before we begin the Gemara, Rashi actually gives us a comprehensive list of the 4 shittos in our Gemara regarding the ger's offspring. According to Rabbi Yehuda, a ger's daughter is pasal kahuna, irrespective of who he married. His label carries over to his offspring. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov holds that's only true provided both parents are gerim. According to Rabbi Yossi, even in that case, child is okay, as long as the child was conceived and born Jewish. According to Rabbi Shimon, even an isha who's a geyeris, but she converted underage, below the minimal age of minimum 3-year-old age, so below that she's not roy labia, she's not considered a zayna, which according to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the basis, is the reason for the psul kahuna by geyeris. So if she converted underage, even she herself can go ahead and marry a kohen. So we have 4 shittas. Tanya, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer. So we start with Rabbi Shimon right now. He says that a geyeris who came into the fold below 3 years old, geyeris pchusa bas sholosh shanim yom echad, ksher l'kahuna, she herself can marry a kohen. Shenamar, the pasuk says, "V'chalataf ben nashim hechyu lochem." So when they came back from Midian, Moshe Rabbeinu tells the warriors, all the even the young women, you can take for yourself. And amongst them, we had Pinchas the Kohen. So he was given the green light even to marry a young geyeris. Rabbanan disagree. Rabbanan, they say, no, hechyu lochem means not take them as wives. Lavadim l'shvacha is to serve you, but of course, your Kohen cannot marry a geyeris, irrespective of her echad mikra echad darshu. Now, we mentioned there are 4 shittas regarding the children of a ger. It's all based on the same pasuk in Yechezkel. Almano grush lo yikchu lahem l'nashim ki'im besulois mizera beis Yisrael. Okay, Rabbi Yehuda Savar ad dislei kol zera Yisrael. It says ki'im besulois mizera beis Yisrael. So you need that this child should be totally sourced in Yisrael. And Rashi explains, the Ikar Zera is the father, right? That's the Ikar source. So if he's a Yisrael, then the daughter can marry a Kohen. That should be the sheet. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Savar, Mizar, Afilu Miktzah Zera. Pasuk says Mizar Beis Yisrael. As long as there's some part sourced in Yisrael, any one of the parents are Yisraelim, child's okay for a Kohen. Rabbi Yisrael Savar, Mishin is Rabbi Yisrael. He holds that it doesn't matter what the parents are, as long as the child was conceived and born Jewish, that's okay. Rabbi Shimon Yochai Savar, Mishin Nizru Bisuleh B'Yisrael. He holds that the Bisulah membrane of the Isha had to have been completed and made permanent when she was already a Yisraelis. So if she came into the fold below 3 years old, in which case her Bisulah were not yet fully developed, and they only developed once she turned to Yisrael, then that's okay. Omle Rav Nachman the Rabbah. Haikra, I have a kasha on this pasuk that we just mentioned. We seem to sort of be it's some sort of shifting tracks, shifting gears in the middle of the pasuk. Haikra Reisha b'koyin gadol, v'seva b'koyin hedid. Look, the pasuk begins by saying Almana, right? Don't marry an Almana, which sounds like a koyin gadol, right? Because only he is has that restriction, right? Right, so the pasuk is like this: "V'almana grusha lo yichu lahem l'nashim ki im besulis mizera beis Yisrael." And then it says, "V'almana asher ti almana mikoyin yikachu." Right. So first we start by saying, no, don't marry an almana, don't marry a grusha, only a besula. We're speaking to whom? To a kohen gadol, right? Kohen gadol cannot marry an almana. And then the pasuk concludes by saying, well, you can marry, make sure to marry a almana, good almana. Almana shati, almana mikoyin yikachu. So Rashi explains, at this point we figure it means, when you marry an almana, make sure she had been married to a kahuna. There's somebody good. There's somebody that can marry a kohen, basically a kosher. Vet, you're verified that the almana that you're marrying is from good stock. Which sounds like we're speaking to a kohen hedid who can marry an almana. So we sort of shifted gears in the middle. Went from a kohen gadol to kohen hedid. Haikra again. Haikra reisha b'kohen gadol v'seva b'kohen hedid. Amalei, he says, yeah, it can happen in a pasuk like that. Because of a krahachi, really? Is there any precedent to this type of style? Amalei, we find it in a different pasuk. L'chsiv v'ner l'kim terem yichbe. So before the menorah got extinguished in the Heichal Hashem, Ushmuel Sheicha Beichel Hashem. Shmuel was already there. V'aloy ein yeshiva ba'azora elul malcha beis David belvad. How could Shmuel be lying in the Azora, in the Heichal? He's not supposed to. Only even sitting down is not permitted. Only for the malcha beis David. Elo ner l'kim terem yichbe beichel Hashem. So there must be, the pasuk is shifting, describing two locations. First, we're speaking about the menorah in the Heichal Hashem, and then we shift to a different location. Shmuel Sheicha b'mkay May. And he was lying wherever he was. Okay, let's go back on that pasuk. V'almana shati almana mikoyin yikachu. That's the concluding words of that pasuk. Only marry a good almana. Asks the Gemara, mikoyin hin mi Yisrael loy. You only meant to marry, we're talking about a kohen hedid. You can marry an almana. Only a almana from a kohen. She was widowed after marrying a kohen. You can't marry an almana from a Yisrael. What's wrong with that? It means like this. Mikoyin yikachu. Mishar kaharam yikachu. It means like this. The pasuk is simply explaining itself, that we just made that shift. Until now we spoke about kohen gadol. Now we're shifting. And the pasuk means like this: Ha'almana ashati almana. Any almana, even she was married to Yisrael. Okay, mikoyin nikachu. The other kehanim that are not kehanim gadol, they can marry this isha. Rabbi Yehuda explains like this: the pasuk means minamasim l'kuhuni yikachu. Be careful. When you marry an almana, it can only be if she was an almana to a person, she was widowed after marrying a person who has the ability to marry his daughter to a kohen. As opposed to whom? As opposed to a ger. A ger's daughter is pasal kuna. So likewise, if his daughter is pasal, his wife is pasal. So Rabbi Yehuda is explaining the pasuk according to his opinion. Rabbi Yehuda based on his shita, the Amar who just told us, Bas ger zach, a daughter of a ger, kivas chalal zachar is like a daughter of a chalal, and likewise the ger's wife is affected. Kol shatanoy said bita, right? That's the package. That's the formula. If you marry his daughter, His wife is okay for you as well. If you can't marry his daughter, so he affects his daughter and his widow as well. So bottom line regarding a ger, we have 4 shittas. Rabbi Yehuda says a ger's daughter is puzzle. Rabbi Yaakov says it's only a problem if both parents are ger. Rabbi Yossi says even in that case is okay. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, you have a chiddush. Even the gerus herself is mutar if she came into the fold underage. Rabbi Yossi, even if both parents are gerim, child's 100% fine. Amar Rav Hamnuna, Mishmei De'ula, halach Rabbi Yossi, that's how we paskin. V'chein Amar Rabba bar Brachan, halach Rabbi Yossi, that's how we go. Umiyoyim shecher Beis Hamikdash. However, once after the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, the Kohanim had their own standards. Nagu Kohanim Silsel Ba'atzman. Perhaps it was to highlight their higher standard, and they upped their requirements. Silsel is like a mala, Rashi said, that higher standards. That we follow his shita. If both parents are gerim, we don't marry him. Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Lihula, Omar Huna told me, Bali Molech. So let's say a kohen comes and asks us what to do. We tell him to follow Rabbi ben Yaakov, and basically, if both parents are gerim, don't get involved. But once he proceeded without asking, Nasa, we don't get involved. We don't force them to separate in accordance with Rabbi Yossi shit. Says the Mishnah, a father declares his son as a mamzer. He's not believed. If both parents on the same page, we don't trust him. What about al ha'uber shebemeyeha mamzeru? Let's say they're discussing the unborn child, and they both testify that he's a mamzer. There's no belief there. We don't believe it. Rabbi Omer, the father is believed, even with respect to declaring his son as a mamzer. Asks the Gemara, we say that the father is not believed, and even if both are testifying, they're not believed. Mai vafilu shneim, what's the point of adding that point, even if they're both in agreement? Let me buy you kamar. It's meant to point out a chiddush. Let me buy it. It goes without saying. The father doesn't necessarily have that information. So certainly over here, we don't trust. Elafilu the kimla. The chiddush is even the isha, who's fully aware of the source of this child. Even she's not believed. But let me buy it. Not only not only in the case where he was already established kosher member of the community, that nobody can go undo that. They're not believed. But even an unborn child who hasn't yet established his track record, still they're not believed. Yeah, there is belief. Because the pasuk says yakir. Right? The pasuk says a father can identify his child as his firstborn, etc. To convey that to others, we believe him. Mikan Amar Rabbi Yehuda, based on this pasuk, Rabbi Yehuda tells us not only is the father believed to say Neman Adam Leima Zebni B'cher, this is my firstborn child, to get the double inheritance. Not only that, Ukashem Neman Adam Leimar Zebni B'cher. Not only that, Kach Neman Adam Leimar Zeben Grusho Zeben Chalutza, you can disqualify his child and label him as a deficient child. No. Father has limited ability, he's not believed when it comes to detracting his son's status. Amar Leir of Nachman Bar Yitzchak l'Rav. Mishnah with Rabbi Yehuda. Hainu Chsev Yakir. According to Rabbi Yehuda, we understand why it says Yakir, to indicate that a father has the ability to label his child. Elo l'Rabbanan Yakir l'Amali. What's the point of the word Yakir according to Rabbanan if he's not believed anyways? B'tzarech Hakir. We're speaking about a very specific case. For B'chair, suppose it is unknown to us whether he's the firstborn of this father. Father has the ability to identify him as such. Now, what's the point? What's the benefit? The point is that through that the father will have the ability to give his son a double portion in the Yerusha. Well, Pshita, then of course the father is believed. Lama Likro, without the pasuk, we would take the father's word for it in any case. You know why? Migu, the boy. Look, we use the migu method. Since a father potentially can give his child anything, right? If he wants, he can give him the whole business right now. So if he has the ability to do that, and of course we believe him when he says the child is the firstborn, without a pasuk, he should be trusted. Answers the Gemara, true. This trust would apply to any assets that he currently holds. Look, I can give it to him. Of course, I'm neman to testify that he's a bachar. But what if his father's leaving town and down the road he's going to get some more stuff? He's going to acquire more properties which were not there at this time, at the point of today's declaration. So those things he couldn't give him today. He doesn't have them yet, right? So the migu wouldn't apply, and for that you need a pasuk that we trust him regardless. So that wouldn't. After his passing, the child will get double portion in those properties as well. But that's based on the notion that you can't give away stuff you haven't yet acquired. But according to Rabbi Meir, or Rabbi Meir da Amar, Adam Makna, Davar Shalei B'Leilam, Rabbi Meir holds you can actually give away some things which haven't yet been brought into existence. You haven't yet acquired those things. You can sort of commit yourself to give them away at the point of arrival. So this migu, this power applies even today, even for future acquisitions. So again, Yakir Lamali, why this pasuk of Yakir? What's the point? Of course the father's believed to give away his stuff. We're concerned that perhaps he'll acquire stuff. He'll get a Yerusha. The father will get a Yerusha when he's a Geisis, when he's hovering between life and death. At that point he can't give anything away. He doesn't have the power, whether physical or halachic power, to give anything away. So you can't say, well, of course he's believed, he could just give it away. Yeah, if he can give it away, but things which he'll get at the point where he can't affect transactions. So for that, we can't use the migu. Rather, the pasuk Yakir tells us fathers believed to establish a son as a bachar with respect to double Yerusha and all his possessions. Okay, so in summary, we have the halacha from Rabbi Yehuda. Kan gadol ba'almana gets two malchus, lo yikach and lo yichalel, two separate isurim. Abaye says lo yikach itself gets a malchus even without proceeding to lo yichalel. Whereas Rava says no, the malchus on kiddushin is dependent upon the biyah which follows. There are some cases we all agree. For instance, machzor grushas over there, it's only if it's within the marriage context, and they all agree that even kan gadol ba'almana, if there was a biyah without kiddushin, there was malchus. The point was kiddushin without biyah, that was machlekes, but the other way around, of course, is malchus. Rabbi Yehuda has a chiddush. Rabbi Yehuda says, just like a chal's daughter is pasul to the kahuna, and just like a chal makes an isha psula when he interacts with her, same thing with a ger, his isha is pasul the kahuna, and so is his daughter. We had 4 shittas regarding the halacha of a ger, the kahuna. A father is believed to say, my son is the bachar, regarding all its possessions and assets. Regarding making a pasul, Rabbi Yehuda says, Neman, Chacham say, Eino Neman, whether it's the father or even both parents together, there's no allowance to make his child a pasul. All the best to you and Hatzlacha Rabbah.